Hello and welcome to Thunderballs Are Go, episode 8. This is Hypaspist with my co-host SilentAl. Hopefully you can hear us and we have not messed up yet again, but we shall see. How is everyone doing? Okay, looks good. So, Al, it's been a little while here.
It has been.
It's been, well, I think in fact, not to spoil anything, but there's one round 8 game that's still not complete. So so yeah. So round 8 took a little while. You didn't have to dress up. No, I didn't dress up at all. However, I did dress for Al because this is my catfish shirt. There you go. See a little bit of that before.
Look at that catfish.
Look at that catfish. A little bit of catfishing going on maybe in some of the alternative Star Realms tournaments. Who knows? But yeah. So Al, how you been? There's been no Legends tournaments or anything like that to catch up on. I don't think.
I know. I didn't quite know what to do with myself. I didn't have any uh, big tournaments to go to. Didn't have any community members to see. It was a kind of a slow week.
Yeah, it kind of was. But one big question I think that we've had recently has been like, what can you accomplish in a week? Now I had a little look and I thought about things. I'll get the ball rolling, but I mean, one thing that I've seen espoused online is that you could master a trumpet solo for one piece of music that was say about 5 minutes long in a week.
Hmm.
I mean,
Okay.
what about you, Al?
I mean, going along with that sort of art theme, I'll say you could make about 4 or 5 stone sculptures in about a week.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I've heard that it's not unreasonable that you could write the first draft of a novella in a week.
Yeah.
But I mean, how about
Uh,
more Star Realms related things?
I mean, I've done this a couple times. You can win an arena in a week.
You can, and I think in one of the weeks that pertained to round 8, I actually played about 500 games of ranked. So
You did. That was
that's
pretty amazing.
that's a thing. I mean, what more is there?
You can go into labor and give birth to a brand new baby boy in a week,
You could, or you could have between 2.5 and 7 children's birthday parties, or
or you can take about 5 turns in one game.
I mean, there's just so many options, Al, isn't there?
So many
It's just
options.
so many options. Um, but after that big question, after that big question's been answered, we're going to take a little recap of round of where we're sitting on
Yeah.
round 8, and then there was always going to be something. You know what the problem is, don't you? Is when I use arrows for other things, this gets crazy. Oh, it's fine though, because they didn't see that.
Oh,
They didn't see it. So here we are as we go into round 8. Sitting pretty at the top of the pile there is Lethal Is Not Enough. With the same record as Dodge Another Day, but with one more tiebreaker point. So just that one result, just that one person they could have eliminated. Sniffing on their heels there is through to a kill. And then we've got Foils Are Forever, License to Overkill, Death World. We've got Dodger More or Less, Catches Galore, and Bringing Up the Rear is on Her Majesty's Secret Outpost. So as we go into round 8, Al, that's where everyone's standing now. It's set for a runaway or a tight finale, depending on how these results come in.
Yeah.
So before we get to all of that, though, let's talk.
Is it time for tea?
Let's talk tea.
My favorite part of the show.
There was quite a lot of tea going on. I'm not sure if I've completely got absolutely everything, but
there was a lot of tea.
There was an awful lot of tea. So there's a couple of quotes. There's some shenanigans. We'll start with one of the quotes. Is that one of the I don't think it's giving away too much because this is common knowledge, but Aldarin targeted Dan Karan, and he responded with, "Oh, I see how it is. You A captain targeting a dodgeball newbie, a last round draft pick, and not just that, but a man that stood at your wedding. A man that would spar all hours of the night with you in glorious EDH battle. That's a Magic the Gathering, like Elder Dragon Highlander format. A man that has attended Gen Con with you. I think we all see who the real evil Derek is. So, I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, also on the topic of Alduin, he was attempting to win Witch's weekly Most Charming Smile Award. I think he misunderstood how the award worked and ended up
Probably.
describing his opposing number as Horsewoman, before being reminded that seeing a Thestral is actually very bad luck. One of our captains was heard to call their team a group of knuckle dragging Neanderthals, which I just loved. It's
I
filled
love
with
that.
such despair.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me which team that is, because
I mean,
off
perhaps
camera.
off air, yeah.
Yeah.
Artemis, bless him, became the subject of someone's autocorrect when someone was told to try and get arsenic, which is a somewhat unfortunate
That's
mix-up.
unfortunate.
Captain's chat survived an impromptu questionnaire which was thrown out, which was, how do you prefer to play? Now, Al, the answers ranged from, like Joey, wearing all the clothes for better protection and doing lunges for better dodging. And then that was one end of the scale. The other end of the scale was greased up and naked so the balls slide off easily.
I know where I fall in that.
I think that's on a need-to-know question basis, Al.
Yeah.
I'm not going to probe you further.
All right.
One captain was naively heard to espouse that even though we are a contrary lot, Thunderballs wouldn't gauchely dive down the Stig hole too far. My sweet summer child. Now, there was a substitution this week. It's not really spoiling anything in Team Overkill. Mighty Stig was subbed out for JKMNO. Now, when JKMNO was introduced to the team, one teammate, who shall remain anonymous, was heard to say, "Oh, well, heck, why didn't we sub 3 rounds ago?" And then a further teammate, who shall also remain anonymous, said, or 9 rounds? So, I mean, we forget sometimes that, you know, there's been some slow play going on, but these poor boys and girls have dealt with it on an ongoing basis every single round.
match.
Now, if I remember rightly as well, Al, wasn't Stig a sub himself for another player in a previous season?
He was. Many people don't remember this, but Avenger, spelled with a 3, was in the first season of Dodgeball and couldn't keep up the pace, and was subbed out for Mighty Stig, who at the time his slowness was overpowered by a few Australian players who were having some time zone issues.
It's hard, right? Because they're like literally everybody else is on a completely different part of the world from you. So, you know, Australia is a hard sell.
It is. But, you know, we still have some. Baggio 10 has figured it out, and it continues to play in the league today and still plays faster than Stig.
Still playing faster than Stig McSlowerson. So, on to the matches. Round 1. Match 1 of round 8. Oh, sorry.
Before we get into that, just a reminder, if anybody else has any to send it to us.
srdbtattler@gmail.com. We will gladly save your total anonymity, as we've always promised, and we are absolutely delighted to get any tea you wish to dish our way. We'll save that up and spin it out for the masses so that we can all enjoy a good laugh. So round 8, match 1. We've got, looking at those top teams, we've got Through to a Kill, captained by Vorazori against Lethal Is Not Enough, captained by Darklighter. Now, it's going to be challenging to do this game just because there was such a lot of action. We began with Vorazori winning the captain's race ball, whilst The Mystic defeated DG3 in what sounded like an epic race out between Colossus and Nanobots. Now, I know they're missions, the races, but that's still two big slugs hitting heavily,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Those are two big boys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of them comes with a curse, so
It's very true, and Colossus did in fact take that home well ahead of the Nanobots. So halfway through the races, I had to look, and I had to work out what was going on. Compton P did win his race, but halfway through the races, he just started working on the psychological game, posting Polite's Monday casual tournament victory to set the cat amongst the pigeons. Like, here you go, boys and girls. How do you like them apples? I mean, that takes some big swinging ones, doesn't it?
that's pretty amazing. I love that.
Yeah, just sliding that in. They haven't even finished race day, and it's already begun. So when the throws do finally begin, Polites, Maraudimo, and Raka all fire warning shots before the Mystic teaches Compton P a salutary lesson that smack talk never goes unpunished by catching his OG ass and sitting him down to watch the rest of the match.
Whoops.
So, as funny as Compton P's contribution was, it didn't actually do him any good at all. So Raka and Politesk respond with a bit of a devastating salvo. They hit and catch Maraudimo and Darklight respectively, eliminating them both. So then the momentum shifts as Artemis or Arsenic perhaps catches Ball 7 from Vorazori, choosing to revive Maraudimo whilst V Mystic dispatches Acox 89 to share some cookies with Compton P. Compton P's response to getting a teammate on the bench is to post a DG3 Wednesday Frontiers tournament victory to double down on his worthwhile contribution to the game. So he's now given up all pretense at doing anything effective in this game. He's poking Lethal Is Not Enough from the bench with a stick.
Here's what I love is he posted 2 tournament result wins, but that was still the least interesting tournament result posting in Dodgeball that week.
It was. It really was. And we'll come to that a bit later, I think.
Yes.
So, Daryl, inspired by his fan mail, catches and eliminates Kamas, whilst Artemis catches Raka, reviving the aforementioned Darklighter who'd been eliminated already. So we've got a bit of a rhythm settling into the game now where each side kind of throws and dodges 4 balls each, and it's just kind of tit for tat, no one's hitting anything. Until Darklighter, sensing blood in the water, eliminates Catch Bella, who apparently has transferred her powers to Raka, who catches the unsuspecting captain, and then, for good measure, knocks Marauder Mo back to the bench immediately.
Ooh.
So, Darklighter, going through the chat is one of my favourite things about catching up on every round of Dodgeball. Going through the chat, Darklighter at this point took this opportunity to remind Through to a Kill that Ride the Beans was also playing, even though he didn't win a race ball and didn't have one to throw. But maybe with their plethora of balls, they could introduce him to the game. So, I mean, was it his Nintendo cosplay that was putting them off, Al? I mean, is this
could be?
Is this what was anyway? Whatever hesitancy they might have had, DG3 responded by gunning down the half dog, half dinosaur in a brutal display, and then taking out MTG in real life for good measure. So, I think Darklighter's gambit of calling Through to a Kill chickens possibly backfiring there, as they just dispatched one of his.
So wait a minute, you're saying calling people out backfires in Dodgeball?
Well, certainly here it did.
Yeah.
Certainly here it did. Now, at this point, the Mystic and Lethal Is Not Enough are in real danger of being outnumbered 2-1. So he takes measures into his own hands, and he takes out Raka, but he can't avoid DG3's irresistible ball that catches him cold to end his 76% game-winning involvement in the match. That's quite good.
Wow.
And it's certainly one of the Mystic's better displays this season in his rookie season. So, I mean, it's now down to Arsenic versus DG3 and Politesk. So, Artemis eliminates DG3, but he's unable to resist the attention of Polites, who catches Artemis, eliminating him to win the match for his team. So, after that, back and forth, Al, and I'm sure whilst we'd love to
There
give
were
Compton P the assist, I don't think he can win the MVP. Who is your MVP for this round?
I'm gonna have to give it to Politis C. He won his race. He got a hit. He got 2 catches, 4 dodges, but most importantly, he was the last man standing on the court.
It's true. It's true.
Also, I would like to point out that he won a tournament that week and still was able to play many, many games in a timely fashion.
He did. He won it on Monday. He got it out of the way on Monday, but that didn't affect anything he was doing.
No. So we'll give him the MVP.
Salient and important point. Okay, well that sounds good. I mean, I'm sure Polites will be thrilled to have an MVP all to himself and not share it with his better half. But he's already told me what he thinks about sharing. So I'll move swiftly on before he kills me in Squid Games. So then let's move to match 2. Now this match, spoilers, is still ongoing.
It's still going.
It's still going. It had to have a pin put in it, and we'll come to why. But yeah, it's still going. It had a pin put in it, and we'll see what's going on here. So the game begins with Tuna Slap threatening to close down the donut shop, but then Foils Are Forever take 5 of the race balls. So that's clearly not working for Tuna. Alderin gets things going by throwing at Imam, who says, like, bring it on, and then goes shopping instead of accepting the game, putting Alderin on enough tilt to take his ball. It's clearly Mom's psychological game very much on point there. Yeah. Sadly for Mom, though, Alderin catches her on the return and noticing she's tired from all the shopping, suggests that she rests on the bench for the rest of the game. Tatiana eliminates Legend Timmy, whilst Alderin makes good on Tuna's threat and closes up everyone's favourite purveyor of fine circular comestibles, but not before Chasmo dispatches Bahamut. So Thestral, seemingly keen to experiment with balls, covers hers in Vegemite, in rather an unorthodox move, before throwing and eliminating the man from down under. We've mentioned it before, Bashio 10. Whilst Tatiana, finally winning her race against Mighty Stig. All of this has happened. Her race against Mighty Stig has just finished via damage, and then she then goes on to try and catch herself a fish supper, but only succeeds in angering the tuner enough for him to eliminate Captain Thestral. To Alderin, this is where Alderin attempts to bully poor Dankaran, but is unable to do so as good Derek slides past evil Derek's ball. Poop Deck wins the Battle of the PP and proves that hers is bigger, sending Patriarch to the bench. Alderin sends his fish after Thestral, fearing for his life, as the Prancer-sized ball takes his head up clean off, but his attack fish does the job and defeats Thestral in immediate revenge. So the good Derek now revenges his team by tickling Tuna Belly and landing himself a big haul, eliminating Tuna Slap. But with a final death strash, John takes out Tatiana before handing off to teammate Mighty Stig. And it's at this point, dear reader, that the game button gets paused. So, as Stig manages to play his game with Poop Deck for 7 days and only get to turn 11, Fusto claims Poop Deck should just be a straight-up given the win. Stig catches the ball, revives Agent C-13 just as the commissioner steps in and makes a substitution. So trotting onto the court, to much fanfare, comes regular West Virginian hero JKMNO, much to the cries of joy and anguish from Foils Are Forever, as Stig is led from the court and off the premises, loudly protesting that he didn't realise he had any open games. Now, Al.
Yes.
My understanding of the app is that when it's your turn, the game is red. And when it's not your turn, the game is green. So It's very much a red light, green light kind of situation. And,
yes.
and you know, in the UK, coming from the UK originally, I can confess that like in the UK you can't even turn right or left on a red. Like there's no red is like no, you shall not, Gandalf, you shall not pass. So there's no confusion there. So You could
So
be
do we think
colorblind though, right?
he could be colorblind? It's not like there are big letters across each match saying it's your turn,
Oh, and
um,
their turn.
or their turn.
Yeah, so I
And
guess I'm all out of.
maybe he did see the red. He thought stop, and he was like, "Oh, I need to stop playing this game."
Yeah,
Um,
I'm all out of ideas to defend that. Really, I just
or maybe he lost his phone and couldn't open the app to check on his games in a timely fashion.
But
Um,
you say that though. You
yeah,
say that now. Bear in mind that this isn't actually the first week that this game was going on. This is like we're into the second week now.
yes,
Didn't Stick post a tournament win in his round 9 game?
he did. Um, and unfortunately, I don't think he got the response from the community that he was hoping to get when he posted that tournament win. Because instead of a lot of likes and congratulations and good jobs, he got, and I would like to reiterate this point, he got mom of all people, Emom,
Meek
quite
Elizabeth.
possibly the sweetest person in our community, to then yell at him for not taking turns in dodgeball. My job in dodgeball is usually the enforcer of rules and to go yell at people. Mom took my job.
Yeah, yeah.
It was spectacular.
Oh
And
dear.
in true mom fashion, she wasn't just mad, she was just disappointed.
She was just disappointed, as parents the world over can appreciate. Um, Now, as all of this goes on, Foils Are Forever, I think, were attempting to petition the commissioner to replace Fusto with Domala, but the commission was having absolutely none of that.
None of it.
Now, Al, like in the past, we've said, look, you can't complete your game by the time the episode comes round. Like, no MVP. Is that the case this
Right.
time?
So I'm going to make an exception here, and I'm going to name an MVP
Oh,
um, for this match. So we're going to do a special MVP award,
yes.
and it is going to be for a player who played nearly as many turns as Stig did in this match as this player did.
Okay.
We are giving it to Baby Trey, who he won his race in which he was born on time. He was an instant hit. He caught the hearts of the community, and he knew he was involved in all of the games that he was supposed to be.
Well, I mean, that sounds like 4 essential key components to being an MVP to me.
Yeah, total MVP.
So, congratulations, Baby Trey. MVP.
Baby
Not
Trey.
not
Or
even a month old yet.
I'm going to even say, because usually, Trey is the his name, but he needs an IGN. And I'm just throwing it out there. I already have a Steam code for him, so we can get him hooked up with an account. And
Amazing.
Mom was playing me in dodgeball when she went into labor, so I think it's only fair his IGN be like SilentTrey.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, so I think for the official MVP, it should be SilentTrey.
So SilentTrey is the official MVP for round 8, match 2 between License to Overkill and
I can't
Foils Are
wait to
Forever.
see the Mega Holland page update that one.
A game that is yet to conclude.
Yeah.
So, wrapping a bow neatly on match 2, which everyone involved will wish to forget, let's move on to match 3. This is on Her Majesty's Secret Outpost, captained by Traitor Binks, versus Catchers Galore, captained by Yarbs. So, speaking of Jonna Ann, she begins the match by throwing at Mkolo, and Juan ensures that well-known politician and part-time midwife Sandra Torres is on hand, should Jonna need assistance. So we did it, boys and girls. We found Sandra Torres in round 8, and it was there nestled alongside Juan and looking out for Jonna Ann.
It's like
Um,
a game of Where's Waldo.
absolutely. So Al, you're a gentleman dodgeballer. You invited Jonna to sit down and take a load off
I
her pregnant
I thought
self.
I thought I was doing her a favor. I was like, I knew her due date was soon. I was like, let's get her out of the match so she can go enjoy the
Focus on
birth of
family
baby Trey.
life and creating new life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sadly for Jonna, Catch Binkley had other ideas as he gifts another present to Simply Steph, who demands pregnancy solidarity and gets Jonna back in the game immediately.
Immediately.
Not to be deterred, you attempted another gambit, but this time it was Jonna inviting you to rest your cockles. Lady Stacy, however, had other ideas and caught Jimmy G to revive you. So it was like
Yeah.
almost a tit for tat situation. No one's going home. You all just
Mm-mm.
stay where you are. Now, sandwiched somewhere in between all of the above, which is still a better love story than Twilight, by the way. Simply Steph eliminated Viserys, whilst the front man, the Texan, eliminates Sturrock. Steph and Stacy then play past the dodgeball for a bit before Stacy eliminates Steph and Yarboa revives Sturrock, courtesy of Amcola, and possibly Sandra Torres, who knows. JP eliminates the Texan, and Jimmy G eliminates Binks, and when Carlos, whilst Yarbs makes it 4, as she takes out Lady Stacy, and all of a sudden the game has swung. I mean, depending on which side of this coin you are, quite drastically, Al. Like,
Yes.
you guys seem to be in balance, and all of a sudden, like, 4 of you go down, and it's just a different game.
Yeah.
But wait, Jonna Ann, playing through her contractions at this point, we might add, playing through her contractions to dodge the
Yes.
Texan, can only thank his lucky stars that the arrival of Jonna's precious bundle of joy is the only thing that stopped him from being caught was her giving birth.
Right.
So let's just, appreciate the fact that not only was she doing one of the most painful things a person can do in life, she was also keeping up with her dodgeball commitments.
Right. Amazing.
Amazing. Fresh to motherhood, Jonna Ann somehow manages to both find the time in her schedule to play a whole game and fight off pregnancy brain to realise that she has one to catch Lady Stacy and revive Simply Steph, as one good turn deserves another. So dodging JP, Al, you tried to knock down Legend Lux, but you're regrettably caught. Perhaps being a Hero Realms legend not helping you as much as being a Star Realms legend in this
I know.
particular.
I should have brought my broadsword from
That
Realms.
that maybe would have done the ticket. But at this stage of the game, the writing's on the wall, and even Mkolo can't resist Mama Bear Ann as she bounces her into the next round, ending the game and completing a shutout for catches galore and Captain Yarbs.
Yeah.
Now I looked hard at the chat and I looked hard at the statistics, Al. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know who your MVP is. But why don't you introduce them?
So the MVP is going to be Mama Ann. She got a race win, a hit, 2 catches, 75% win percentage, game-winning hit, played through contractions, played after she gave birth. She created life and still played games and won games. That is an epic MVP performance.
That might just be one of the most complete MVP performances I think we've seen.
She gave birth and completed more games than Mighty Stig was able to complete turns.
I mean, when you put it like that.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. No, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
So now, for those who are counting, through to a kill won their game, and haul themselves level with both Dodge Another Day and Lethal Is Not Enough at this point. So game 4 brings Dodger More or Less and Dodge Another Day together. And this is Dodge Another Day's chance to just pull into an outright lead, having had their rest week. So let's get straight to it. Slavic is addicted to going fast and going early and eliminates Zim 108 before he's even had his morning cup of joe. Like, Zim doesn't even know what's happened and he's sat down. Corey then catches Clever Missy to revive Zim, whilst the kinkiest dodgeballer is busy eliminating her. So again, total switch around. Like Clever has a really bad day at the office, and just she gets caught and gets hit. It doesn't get worse than that. Slavic's having none of that and catches Penguin Army to revive her, and all of a sudden she's back in the game. Now I made a request to my team this round, basically because like we can't win the title. I was like, "Hey guys, how do you feel about Danger Ball?" And they were like, "Sure, why not?" So
can't make things worse at this
yeah,
point.
it can't. How can it get worse? Jehovah. Well, I didn't hit Corey Bear, and then when he threw back, he hit me. So it could, in fact, get worse, and that was my most meaningful contribution to the game. His superior rail infrastructure knowledge was too much for me. And Kinky Day is busy mopping up Slavic, so it's me and Joe sat on the bench. It's been a regular occurrence all season, and you won't hear from us again all game. Now, Al, a curious thing happened then.
Oh, do tell.
The team who were falling over themselves to revive Clever Missy, like they seemingly changed tactics mid-game when they realized that it was in fact Hypaspist who was next up for revival and not Slavic. So despite several opportunities, poor Slavic had to stay on the bench because everyone else was not willing to revive this guy. So speaking of catches, Cranky catches Corey Bear, eliminating the opposing captain, and instead of reviving, then, which is to be fair, probably a very sensible decision. He then dispatches him again before Rip catches Sarah T to immediately revive Corey Bear. Now, with this freshly ripped ball, Corey Bear immediately goes hunting for bus parts. But he's caught not short, but very, very long, and is asked kindly but firmly to sit back down by Mr. Ripper. Captain Ninja gets on the scoreboard, eliminating the King of Waffles, Markbot 3000, as Cranky Day motions for Rip to join the Talkie Toaster on the bench. Anyone who's watched Red Dwarf will get that reference. Now, Clever Missy can't quite catch Kinkady. She was a couple damage off, and then she was a little bit of a card short, and then it was never going to happen, so she just took the game instead of trying to force the issue. But Seabus then shows her how it's done, snagging Penguin's ball from the air and sending him to waddle to the bench where he can smile and wave. Boys, smile and wave. And then, wrapping up the match, Sarah T eliminates Warp Drive, paving the way for Seabus Ripper to take out Kincaid and seal the match for Dodger more or less. And the seemingly destructible Dodge Another Day, Al, folding like a cheap Italian suit in almost a reverse of Through to a Kills early season. I think someone pointed it out to us earlier on today, where it was they went win, 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 rest, lose, lose.
Yeah.
So that rest week has really, and let's not forget, this is another flower to lay at the grave of the mighty Stig. It was their rest week that was massively expanded in time due to the Stig.
That's true. All roads lead back to Stig.
All roads lead back to Stig. And apparently I've frozen, but we'll just carry on because I don't know how to fix that one. Hopefully you can still hear me. It's fine. So Al, that wraps up match 4. That's all the matches this week because Death World took a rest week. So who is our performance of the round?
Performance match MVP of that one. We're gonna go with the beloved commissioner, Cranky Day. He won his race. He got 2 hits. He got a catch, and all while doing that, had a very nice substitution and subbed in a new player.
For
another match,
and there was much rejoicing.
Yes.
Cranky really held up that match. That was absolutely a marvelous display by him. So that's the match 4 MVP. But what about the performance of the entire round, Al?
I think anybody who's been watching knows the best performance around 7 goes to Jana Mama Ann. Her race win, her hit, 2 catches, 75% win percentage, and created a new Star Realms player.
She created a whole new Star Realms player, which is
new Star Realms player,
just bonkers. And I think coincidentally, Al, being a 5th round pick, does that automatically make her the money ball as well?
I think it does.
You can't really get more value than that, can you?
No.
So looking then as we move into the standings as we go into round 9, we've now got a 3-way tie at the top.
Uh-oh.
We've got Lethal Is Not Enough, Dodge Another Day, and Through to a Kill all sitting at 5-2. Now, Al, I'm fairly certain that round 9, the final round of this season, pitches Dodge Another Day against Lethal Is Not Enough. So that's going to give us a definitive gap between those two teams.
Right.
So then it's really down to whether Through to a Kill can manage to win their game. Because if they do, well, then we've got a season decider, haven't we?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we can't show you any progress on License to Overkill or Forza Forever because their game is not complete. So they're just sitting at 6 games complete each. Anyway, and then we've got Dodger More, Death World, and Catches Galore all sitting on 3 wins and all on their own. Al, right at the bottom, the strongest team of the entire league, holding everyone else up. And now unresolvable, like you can't win enough games to get any higher, is on Her Majesty's secret outpost, captained by that traitor. We all love him, Mr. Binks. So that's where we're at going into round 9. So we're set for a real barnstormer there. There's lots of potential there, and it'll be really, really interesting to see what happens, and hopefully finally get a conclusion to match 2, and see if JKMNO can actually make a difference to License to Overkill.
I feel like just playing games, he will make some sort of impact.
I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah.
Now, also,
but in all seriousness, it's great to have Jay back in the league.
It is, absolutely. Yeah.
I hope he uses this last little bit to decide to come back and play again next season.
Yeah.
So we missed having him around this season. It was great that he was available.
I kind of hope it wasn't being my teammate last season that begged him off, because we had a super fun team last season, and it was the second time of being his teammate. But I don't know if Team Sandra was too much, or if simply Hypaspist shenanigans were putting him away. But it is delightful to see JKMNO back, to see him back in Dodgeball. Now, I'd be remiss before we go, Al, if I didn't mention that Artemis has been integral in setting up a Thunderballs Season 7 Awards page on Megahallin, which you can get to. I don't know if we can drop that in the chat. I don't know if you've prepped it. I know I haven't, but
I didn't, but I'll see what I can do.
Let's see if you can grab that.
If you can.
But if anyone wants to go, they can go there and they can find all the awards. I'll plug in. We've got a spreadsheet I plug the awards into after this show. And then that updates the webpage, so you can kind of catch it all together. There you can see every team and every player who's won any of the awards listed. So that's a nice resource to have there. And thanks to Nick Berger for doing that. And otherwise, it's a brave new world into round 9. Hopefully everything should run to time. And we will doubtless find out either a straight winner, or who's going to be playing off for the rights to be Dodgeball Season 7 champion. And, I'm very excited for this, Al. I think it's going to be great either way. Those 3 teams, Through to a Kill have come. They had 2 losses. First 2 games, they lost both games, and they've just, Vori said to his team, "Okay, we don't lose. We're done now. That's our last loss. All we do is win." And so far, they've been keeping true to that.
Right.
Dodge Another Day having a very English batting collapse at the end of the season there, very very similar to pretty much any English international cricket team that's ever held the field. And Darklighters side, just they've dropped a couple games against stiff opposition, but they're always in the mix. So we've got that thrilling Dodge Another Day and Lethal is not enough head-to-head next week. And we also get to see whether Vori's team can continue that streak of keeping their captains' words in their mind and not losing another game.
Yeah, I think it's I think it should be fun how it shakes out. So I'm sure there'll be some surprises.
Absolutely, there always
It's
is.
dodgeball. There always is.
This is dodgeball. There's always massive surprises, but hopefully we'll have the conclusion to round 8 and the conclusion to round 9 next week for you all. I've been Hypaspist, he's been Silent Al, and it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him.
Thank
Bye.
you for joining us.